Hey folks, it's Coach Patrick here from Endurance Nation, back with another coach tip, coach update, insider piece. As you know, I'm head coach, founder, owner over at Endurance Nation. We are an online community of endurance athletes. Just on Monday night, we had an ultra runner, we had a triathlete, a half Ironman, we had a gravel racer, and we had a brand new athlete, all sort of in the same office hours, Monday night chat. And just a great reflection as I sat there, not a punchline to a joke, but reflection of the variety of athletes who participate inside of our community. The power of the community is a great place to not only get accountability and learn from one another, but to create a sustainable lifestyle of endurance. If you want to be your best, you have to really be with people who are also on that same quest. What you're trying to do as an endurance athlete isn't normal, right? Like you want to do something crazy. You want to run 26 miles or 250 miles, or you want to ride a bike, or you want to ride a bike up a mountain. We kind of, athletically take things to the next level. And so you really need to find your tribe, your people, and they live here inside Endurance Nation. I, as a classic example, am doing the thing, right? So not only have I done a ton of Ironman races and Konas, this year I'm challenging myself by going off-road, heading to Leadville, heading to Colorado to do Leadville and Steamboat on separate weekends this year because they're separate, and really going outside of my wheelhouse and building things up. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about one of the things that I've learned here heading towards the 50-year-old milestone and figuring out what it means to unlock performance. I've been at the Ironman triathlon game since 2001, which is hard to believe because I know I look 18 years old. You're saying it to yourself right now. Don't deny it. There are a lot of lessons that I've learned along the way. But one of the most important things that I found is that athletes want to be successful, but they've got a core blocker. We've got to identify what that issue is, and then we can find out what the opportunity is for you to grow. And for me, the blocker is probably like many of you, which is information overload. When I turn on my computer, when I see ads in my inbox, or when I'm browsing, talk to my friends, or just catch up on the news that is endurance, there's all sorts of information flying all the time. New supplements, new strategies, new workouts, new platforms, new events. It's just a lot of new stuff, and it's hard to really be focused and consistent. And so one of the strategies that we have to figure out is starting with you. Right? Zoom right in on yourself. So forget about what the pro athletes are doing or the struggles at the Giro d'Italia, or whether or not an altitude tent is the perfect purchase for you for your birthday or whatever it is you're thinking about. Instead, really zero in on yourself and identify what your limiters are. If you can't do a good job of it on your own, you can ask your teammates, you can ask your coach, you can ask your significant other if you're lucky enough to have one, and learn a little bit about what makes you tick. Essentially, what we're looking for is what are the things that when they go right, make you awesome, and what are the things when they're not going right, really take you down. Those levers in there, those are your 10x levers. Once you identify what those 10x levers are, you can use your endurance superpowers of concentration, the powers you use to just keep running in a straight line for hours or riding in a straight line, or maybe riding in a crooked line. Yeah, that's superpower. Let's take that superpower and apply it to this 10x lever. In my world, what's really worked for me has been sleep. Now, if my wife ever sees this video, she'll go nuts because she's been telling me this for forever. No joke, for a period there when I was a lot younger, I was convinced that I really didn't need to sleep a lot. It was because I was drinking a lot of coffee. I thought I was one of those magical people that didn't need it. No, that's not the case. As I heard on a recent podcast with Huberman, if you think you're the person who doesn't need sleep, then you're also the kind of person who is on a cruise ship, pretending to be on the Titanic, struck by lightning twice, and bowl a perfect game. If that all happens to you, then you're that person. If you haven't done all those things simultaneously, you're probably not the person who doesn't need sleep. And if you're an athlete, you absolutely need sleep. The higher your goals are, the higher aspirations are, the more sleep is important to our equation. I learned that lesson intermittently across the course of my year as an athlete, where I had injuries or setbacks or challenges, whether it's changing jobs. One time I cracked my hip in a bike accident. I've broken my collarbone, times when I've really been forced to stand down. Sleep overcomes me because I'm not moving anymore, and it's a chance for my body to kind of reset itself. But now that I know that growing older, I really focused since January 1st on maximizing my sleep. I have an Oura Ring and I have an 8 Sleep. So I spent a lot of money. I'm very fortunate in that regard, where I can track the quality of my sleep, and I can use my 8 Sleep upstairs to set the temperature right. It also tracks my sleep quality, make sure my sleep is optimized. And I figured out that if I sleep more than 7 hours a night, my training is awesome. And if I want to take that sleep lever from a 10x effect to like a 20x effect, I also take a 15-minute power nap during the day. Just real fast. I just lay down, put the hat over my eyes, or go to my car if I'm out on the road, find a quiet place, whatever it is. But those two combined elements, when done right, allow my body to heal faster, allow me to stay focused on all the times when I'm not training. For you and I, training, not hard. Go ride a bike, got it. Run a marathon, okay, when? Sit down at a desk and work for 90 minutes straight, crushing your brain. No, that sounds practically impossible. And when I need to be my best interpersonally, when I'm serving others, when I'm working, it all revolves around that sleep. So for me, sleep is that 10x lever. So when you think about what it is for you, I really want you to step back and say, what is that lever for me? Is it nutrition? Is it service? Is it strength training? It doesn't have to be one permanent lever. For me, sleep is kind of a permanent lever because I don't, anticipate changing my ambitions. But there are intermittent times during the year where you may have a different focus, a focus on strength, for example, or a focus on consistency, a focus on a particular discipline or solving another challenge. Maybe you just realize you've got a health challenge. Maybe you just discovered you're gluten intolerant and you've got to change your entire diet. You've got a different focus and a different challenge. But once we figure out that protocol, once we figure out your personal equation, we can really take things to the next level. So again, for me, Coach Patrick, it's sleep, 7 hours minimum a night, and 15-minute nap during the day if I need it. Really sets me free, allows me to be my personal best when I'm exercising and just during the day. You really need to think about what it is for you. Leave your questions, feedback, comments below. I'll be happy to answer them if I see them. Or just reach around, find out, share what you know, and ask other people what their 10x solution is to become a better athlete, better human, all the things that we want to be at once. We can figure it out from there. Best of luck in your journey. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. If you want to learn more about how we train, go to endurancenation.us. You can apply to become a member or just take advantage of our resources on the blog. Just use Google, Endurance Nation, and whatever your topic is of choice in the endurance world, you'll find an article and a resource there for you. Thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you soon.